Welcome everybody to your February 2025 State of the Industry. We have got some fun things in store for you today. So let's just get right down to it. I am Katie Hardman. I am your Chief Opportunity Officer for the Experience Brokerage Network, and I am joined by my partner, Leslie.
Good morning, everyone. Of course, I'm Leslie Hilbert. I'm General Manager of the Experience Brokerage Network, which, as you guys all know, encompasses 4 incredible Keller Williams market centers here in the state of Oregon and almost 600 Keller Williams family members. So good morning to all of you. And of course, we introduce ourselves every time, even though most of you know us because we're always welcoming new people. So Katie, how many people did we welcome since the last time we did this broadcast?
I'm counting around 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. I had to count real quick. 13 new family members. Welcome, you guys. I hope you're on the call this morning, or if you're watching the recording, thank you guys for being here. We're excited to be your partners in business. Hopefully you turn your camera on. Also, okay, some quick announcements before we get into the reason you guys are all really here. This is actually the only announcement because my brain can't focus on any more value past next week's value. It's just so much. So you should know this. Our national convention is every year in February. It's called Family Reunion, and it just happens to be next week in Las Vegas. So number one, it is not too late to sign up. If you've been on the fence or you're just a last minute person, like there are rooms, there are tickets. We would love for you to join us. And here's a list of people who have already said yes. So we are excited to have so many Experience Brokers Network agents and leaders in Las Vegas next week for the family reunion experience. There's truly nothing like it. It's kind of magical. And it's magical that like 10,000 real estate agents in the room to hear Gary Keller. It's wild. So I'm excited for our family members to be there. And for those who are coming, you are getting a know before you go email probably tomorrow, as well as an invite to a group chat so that we can all be communicating and dividing and conquering on breakout sessions and finding places to sit together and coordinating lunches and dinners. But we want to welcome you all to Las Vegas in style. We are going to do a welcome reception at the Skyfall Lounge, which look at that view. Leslie says it's amazing. I didn't make it up there last year. Monday at 5 p.m. Again, gonna get you all the details on this, putting this in here so you know, but also to give FOMO to those of you who have not signed up yet. So I hope that if you are on the fence that you buy a ticket and those are going, join us at our reception. We'll have snacky foods and drinks and a great view and a great time, and we're excited to hug and squeeze all of you. And if you truly can't make it, Keller Williams has done something pretty amazing, and they have created a digital experience. Now, you have 2 options here. One, you can buy your own digital experience ticket, and we'll put the link in the chat for that. 2, for completely free, you can take advantage of this experience in your office. So get with your local leadership team to see when and where and how they are live streaming these sessions. But here is kind of what you can expect as part of that package. So Tuesday, the coveted vision speech with Gary Keller. It is bright and early in the morning. So that is a day you might need to set your alarm and get up, and it might be frozen outside, but that's okay. Come into your office because we will be live streaming the vision speech in each of the offices on Tuesday. There's also a chance to hear from Rory Vaden and Phil M. Jones, who are experts in their fields. So some really cool breakout sessions on your brand and how to have great, or as Phil would say, critical conversations in real estate. There's also Gary Keller is coming back on Wednesday for 10 Bold Truths. There's going to be a panel of mega agents, and then you get Jason and Cody talking about 20 lead generation hacks and tactics to triple your business. I mean, you probably don't need all 20, but you should probably be there to hear the 1 or 2 that you most identify with and implement them in your business this year. And then Thursday, There will be a highlights from the CEO Summit, which is led by Gary Keller and the executives of Keller Williams and some amazing authors and speakers. And then our culture piece, inspirational morning. You should probably bring your tissues to that one because it is always super impactful. And I'm not a crier, and like my eyes get watery. So do with that what you will. We hope that you tune in for these sessions if you didn't or you can't make it to family reunion in person, because there's truly nothing like family reunion. And you would be remiss if you didn't. So with all of that said, that is our big announcement for today. Please tune in to your Market Center Daily Digest. Call your team leader or your agent services coordinator and find out when and where and how these are being live streamed, because you won't want to miss this. Truly, you won't want to miss this. Okay. That's my only announcement for today, because I wanted to save the most amount of time for our amazing speaker, and tricked ya. It's not Nikki Miller. As I told you last month, we dare I say upgraded? Don't worry, we're still going to hear from Nikki just next month. But we have got a phenomenal human, a phenomenal business owner with us this morning. Her name is Jennie Wolek, and Jennie owns the Wolek Group, and they're out of Tulsa, Oklahoma, right? Okay, Tulsa, Oklahoma. Oh yeah, it says it on your screen. She leads her team that helps over 100 families annually while generating just as many local and agent referrals. The Wallet Group focuses on delivering an amazing client experience, loving on their people, giving back to the Tulsa community, all while having lots of fun. The small and mighty team enjoys living their motto: help more, give back, live large, and have fun. So we've asked Jennie today to speak on a topic that I think is needed right now. And she's gonna, well, there's Jennie's face, by the way. She is going to talk about client experience. And this is something that she is passionate about. This is something that her team does really well. This is something that we need right now, right? Like when we are developing our value proposition as real estate agents and how we stand apart in a market that may be a little bit more competitive or a little bit harder, this is a needed topic. So Jennie, thank you for being here today, and thank you for pouring into our people. I'll take your face down so you can have all the powers. But we will drop the workbook for today's class in the chat. And Jennie, the stage is yours.
Wow, thank you guys so much. Well, you guys are waking up with me this morning. Thanks for having me. We actually are icy and cold here in Tulsa, that most of our schools are out. So yay, this is the fun of real estate, is that sometimes you got to go with the flow. And that's what this topic is going to be all about, is really just delivering an amazing client experience every single time so that you can live this amazing life by design. I got a little pop-up. I think I'm good. So thanks for having me. Real quick, thanks for that intro. I am Jennie. I am in Tulsa, Oklahoma. I've been in real estate for 24 years now. Man, time flies. It's been quite a journey, and I actually have a Facebook group called Your Journey with Jennie, and my name is spelled with an IE, just Jennie. And so I created this Facebook group years ago, back in 2016, because I love, and I've discovered my love for teaching and sharing and connecting with my agent community. So you guys are allowing me to live my purpose and my mission today. So thanks for letting me share. I'm going to dive into today's topic because I know that there's so much that we can always improve on when it comes to our customer experience. This material comes right from Keller Williams University. I'm a certified instructor where we teach customer experience, and we use this model. I love models. Everything in our business is a model. And we use the 5 S's. So I'm going to pop up my screen here. We'll work through these slides. I'll do a presentation, and then don't worry, we'll have time at the end for Q&A. So along the way, if you want to pop things in the chat or ask questions, we'll have time at the end where we can dive into it. And I definitely want you to take notes on things that maybe you hear differently or you want to implement yourself, but also write down things that you want to share with us that you're doing in your business, because we always can continue to learn and grow and improve together. So let's get started here. I'll see if I can work the magic of the presentation. All right, I see Katie. Now, Katie, can you see my screen? Yes. Okay, cool. Well, then let's rock and roll. I'm going to make this small so I can see everything. All right, so here we go. Today is all about customer experience. Everything in today's world is about customer experience. And I laugh and think about this often because I actually in college waited tables. I waited tables for a really long time. And I think that really prepared me for real estate. Number one, I was paid in direct proportion to the service that I gave. And I also had to learn efficiencies and how to be more effective in my serving skills and abilities in order to give even better service. And so think about life experiences that you've had, whether it's in your own service you've given or in service that you've received, and how you can take those lessons to make sure that we're sharing such a great experience with our clients. That the whole point is they always want to share referrals with us and pass our name along to their friends and family. That's the ultimate goal. So this is what we're going to work on today, Katie, and we've got a workbook that I've shared with you guys. You're welcome to download that and work through that, or just take some notes and come back to it later. But let's just start with this first question, and you don't have to share it out loud, but just think about it. Why does this even matter? I mean, for me, it matters because everything is about the experience in today's world. And so the better experience that we give, the better we and more value that we offer to people and make them feel great is going to benefit us back in return, right? That's what this is all about, is making sure that if you've been around a little bit in real estate, you know that there's nothing better than a referral. It is handed to you warm and welcoming and easier to convert to a face-to-face appointment because they have been shared by someone they trust. So of course, they are going to trust you. So this is why delivering an amazing customer experience matters so much. Oops, I just skipped all the way to the end. This is the Canvas slides. Let's go. Just everybody stop looking for a second. Going all the way back. Don't look. I see you. You're looking. Pretend you're not seeing this. We're going to cut the video and edit. Guys, Canva. I've clicked in the wrong spot and I'm all messed up. Okay, you guys got that. All right, this is the system that we're going to talk about today, the 5 S's. I like models because it allows me to kind of use my brain a little bit, because it takes a lot of effort sometimes to get very dialed into the specific topic. So you see the overview here, and I'm going to keep going and we're going to come back to it here in just a sec. Now, this comes right from the Millionaire Real Estate Agent book. It should be your real estate Bible. I hope that you've read it a few times, and if not, go back and revisit. But everything really is answered for us on how to have a big business and an awesome life inside of that book. And so this is just what Gary, Jay, and Dave talk about in the MREA is, when you have this 5S model that you're going to learn about today, think about utilizing it inside of all of your buyer and seller systems, right? And mostly buyer and seller systems are mostly the same. There's a few differences in between. One you're showing houses to, one you're selling a house for them. But think about, and this is what the hack for that I want to share with you is, every year as a team, our team in Tulsa, we get to help over 100 families a year after year, buy and sell in this area that most of our business come right from our database and past clients. And we make a GPS on the 5 S's that I'm going to share with you. And so pretend that you're thinking this way when you are building your own business. How am I going to apply these 5 S's to my own systems inside of my team? Okay, the truth is that you would have no business without customers. I mean, it's just a fact. That's probably why, if you remember in the MREA, the first L is, we have the 3L triangle, is leads. You have to have leads. That means equals customers, people to help, in order to have a business. And so let's just make sure that when we do get that opportunity to help people, that we have great systems in place to deliver this amazing experience, again, to generate referrals and repeat clients in the future. So what does it even mean to you? You all have different definitions of what a great experience means. If you're like me, you go to a restaurant and you have great service or you have really crappy service. It really doesn't matter about the food. Sometimes you judge the restaurant on the experience, the way they made you feel, the ambiance. And yes, great food also is important, but I've definitely heard friends critique restaurants on the service they received. So we always want to be delivering amazing service for our clients. Now, y'all know this is true as well. What is most likely going to happen if someone has a bad experience with you, they're more likely to talk to their friends and families about the negative experience than the positive ones. So how can we make sure that we are narrowing the opportunities of people to even diss us in any fashion in the first place? It's so much easier to keep a customer and the dollar amount, the return on your investment on your database is so much higher on people who already know you, trust you, and like you. So keep loving on those people. Now, here's our Gary quote before we get into the whole meat of today's conversation. The data is clear. Staying in relationship with your database is the #1 way to get more business. Y'all agree? I can see some of you. Let's see. Yeah. We know that staying in touch with our people is 100% the best way to build a business, to sustain a business. I couldn't stay in business for 24 years if I didn't focus on delivering a great experience for our people and making sure they felt like we had their back, like we were holding their hand through the process. Katie shared our team motto, and it's really like our battle cry each year and time again. We really focus on helping more families, giving back to our community, having fun along the way, and living large. That doesn't mean like us having our best life ever, but also helping our clients do exactly that same thing through building wealth through real estate. So get clear on who you are and what your business is about. Yeah, this is something I kind of touched on in ahead just a few slides ago, because it is just so true. If you've ever, why do we focus on this? But we do. Honestly, we've gotten, maybe 3 negative reviews in our business on Google, but we have 300 positive 5-star reviews. But don't we always go to that negative one and we dwell on it? Well, let's do whatever we can so that we have fewer and fewer of those. Obviously, you do give a great experience, so I know that's not the case for you, but they are more apt to share a negative experience over a positive one. Now, this is just a little math, and I just create the math so that you have a snapshot and you can always come back to it and plug in your real numbers for your real market. But I want you to understand what a client really costs. Now, I'm pretty obsessed with focusing on our MET database. You've probably heard about this. You have your METs, where you have a relationship, a 2-way relationship. They know who you are, you know who they are, and then you have your unmets. And of course, all of those are inside of your database. You're going to reach out and talk to those people, maybe in different ways, maybe in some of the same ways. But if you really focus on the MET relationship, you should be able to do a mathematical equation to help you determine how much business you could do just off of those people. And depending on what you're hearing in today's world, I had a coach, Jordan Freed, for over 5 years, and Jordan Freed always told me that he was finding that the 5% return on your MET database was good, and 10% was great, and 15% was amazing. And see, I always was just thinking that, oh, I've got to be great. I am great. And then I did the math, and no, we were just kind of good. So be very clear on what your return on investment on your database really is, because then you see that every new MET relationship you add to your database and systematically and purposefully communicate with them will have a positive financial reward and benefit in the future. So for today's purposes, I'm just going to give you this quick snapshot here. Now, this is based on math called Tulsa, Oklahoma. Okay, so this is our prices may be different from what yours look like. And so just play along with me in the idea here that your first client that you ever help, and this can kind of be based on whatever your average sales price is today, or whatever your first time home buyer price range would be today. Now you'll notice I have an if. Now I say if here on commission because of course we know that all compensation is negotiable and there is no standard when it comes to compensation, but I'm using this as an example. And so what could it look like if you stay in relationship with your people, you deliver an amazing client experience during the transaction and beyond? This is what each client looks like. They have the value of $67,000 per person. If you thought about your database this way, would it change anything? Would you show up a little different? Would you act a little different? Would you act a little more urgent when it's time to call quarterly to touch base with them to see how they're doing or provide them with an updated market report at their home anniversary? Would you show up for it a little bit more if you remembered that they were worth almost $70,000? Now, why this works is that, over time, they'd allow you to sell and buy and sell and buy. This isn't even taken into account any referrals that they share, which of course they will because they love you and trust you and want you to succeed and you stay in touch with them. So if you just really did the math and you thought, man, even if I just had 500 Mets in my database that I really, really pour into and have a great two-way relationship with, that could really equal over time 1.6 million in GCI each year. So think about that. As you've heard, Gary say, Jason say, the path is in the math. It's all a mathematical equation, and you're still going to deliver this amazing experience so that they want to share and give back to you as well. Now, really, before we get started inside of the model, we're almost there, is we just have to remember to stay relevant. When I say stay relevant, it just really means that in order to give a great experience for your people, you do need to know what's going on. You do need to understand what's happening in your local market. You do need to understand the data. If you're newer and just getting up and going, that's okay. You've got a team, you've got resources around you of talented people who can help you explain these things. Another thing Katie mentioned is family reunion. Guess what we're going to learn next week? The state of the market, all of the data that our Keller Williams research family does all the work for us, so we can utilize those tools to be this local economist of choice. We're going to give the macro, the big overview approach of what's happening in our real estate world in general, and then you get to narrow it down into your local market so that you are the expert. Now, this is something I found is very important as well. Now, this gets very specific because in order to best communicate with people and deliver an amazing experience for them, not for you, you have to understand how people show up and how people act. And this comes through communication styles, whether it's the DISC or any other behavioral assessment that you are into, or just knowing the importance of mirroring and matching and slowing down to best communicate with people. And lastly, we got to know our value proposition. I used to always just think, oh, I have nothing valuable to share. I do the same thing that everybody else does. Well, that's not true. We all have some value. So have some high points of what your value proposition is and why they should hire you. Are you ready to answer the question if they asked you today, why should I hire you? Okay, here's the model. You see it again. This is what we're working through. All of these S's. So let's get started. First off, S is for set. Set expectations. Now, for today's purposes, in these 5 S's, we are pretending that we are inside of a working relationship with a buyer or seller. So you got it. Like, we're going to help them buy a home or sell a home. That is the framework for today. So that's what we'll talk about more specifically. Now, these are in order of 1, 2, 3. I personally believe that 1 should be in the middle. When I first meet with a buyer or a seller or both, I am always going to first have a conversation with them by asking lots of questions, right? You're going to, first off, how can you share with them your value when you don't know what value is most important to them? So for today's purposes, think about number 2 is really being 1. First, you're going to have a great needs analysis conversation. You're going to get to know their wants and needs, what's most important to them, walking them through understanding their timeline and what's most important to them. Then you would say, now, what it sounds like after really understanding, and you could list back off all the things they shared with you that was important to them. Here is how I will help you through the process of buying or selling or helping you achieve your goals, which is really going back to number 1 and setting expectations. This is so important and a really great reminder, not just for new agents, but even seasoned as well. Sometimes when transactions are fewer, our standards can slip, and we may accidentally work with clients that really in a normal, there's no normal, in a different market, we would have said, heck no, I'm not tolerating that behavior. So this is why at first face-to-face conversation, really setting the expectations and standards of how you're going to work together. Now, it's not being a bully and hammering them on, here's how I work, here's how I communicate. No way. It is, let's make sure that we are going to be in alignment, working together to help you achieve your goals. And then you're going to get to seek agreement, which is, yes, they are in alignment. Perfect. I'm in alignment too. Now we're going to work together to help you achieve your dreams and goals. So we come together, but pause, time out. Please, please, please do not settle. And I think it always comes back to lead generation. And I see it with agents all the time, is we allow ourselves to worry about or stress about or, focus on people that really aren't motivated, that really aren't dedicated to the process, that might not be loyal. And you will hear this when you are properly asking lots of questions, digging really, really deep into what is most important to them and what they and how they think. And how they think. Hold on, lost the screen there. Don't know what happened. All right, can you see my screen again? That glitched. Okay. All right, so I think you guys understand the whole in setting expectations, we just got to get really clear. Now, these are just things that I have come up with or things that we do on our team of how we make sure that we set expectations. See, I have, and this is so old school, you guys might have heard of this guy, Ben Kinney. Maybe you guys know who Ben Kinney is. But years ago, I mean like 12 probably, he came to Tulsa and he shared this packet in this class on, his whole business of how he runs things. And I'm a systems person and a freak. I love things to be very, here's how we do it, check the box, and it's going to be systematic. And so he shared these buyer lead sheets and seller lead sheets. I still use these today. I have a notebook here that I have on my desk that as a team, it's physical paper. I know this is so crazy, but it's real paper so that I don't forget them, because I was, if I carried around a piece of paper, then I wouldn't forget that buyer or seller. But I found, though, with my team over the last couple of years, what do they rely on so much? It's technology. And so are there people that you've put into a system to remember to stay in touch with them or to follow up, and you forget about them because you missed that task or you didn't log in that day? So I'm still a fan of carrying people around. Right here, this is funny. I'm so old school. Here's a seller that I'm going to go meet with. Here's another one, and here's my lead sheet. I'm serious. I have them on my desk right now. Sellers are green. And so this way I don't forget about them. I can always see them. All right, moving on. Another thing to set expectations with is a pre-qualification call. Now, do you guys remember, have you ever taken this class called BOLD? Business Objective Life by Design. Yeah, I've taken it like 18 times. And so I learned this from the old school BOLD back in the day. And it was just a great addition to our system, which is having the day before the appointment calling and having another phone conversation. And this is just qualifying and reaffirming their motivation so that you can get really clear on where they are when it comes to actually buying or selling in the very near future. Now, part of our setting expectations also comes with, once we have set that appointment, we send a pre-listing video email. So it really helps us stand out from others, because when we send this video email, it's me, hey, it's Jenny, I look forward to helping you with the sale of your home. Go ahead and do all this research. We provide them with our presentation books and our online reviews so that we're touching on all the different behavioral styles. If somebody's a reader or a detail person, they're getting all the data. If they're, a different behavior that's just more into relationship, they see that we're a real person, etc. You guys get the idea. So that is one tip of setting expectations. We're telling them we're going to talk about their market, the market in their neighborhood, and the details, but go ahead and review all this stuff. Now, another way to set expectations, and this kind of goes a little maybe counterintuitive, is we talk about at the appointment, we talk about the value, especially for sellers, obviously, we talk about the value of a certified pre-owned home. This is seller expectations, seller pre-inspections. So why this gets part of setting expectations is because we're having the convo with the seller about things that bust deals. So we want to know how they're going to show up when it comes to a nasty repair list that comes in, or inspections that show up with different things on them that they weren't expecting. And then the other way that we set expectations is we have a swag bag. I actually have one right here. Okay, so here's our swag bag. It has our little logo on it. We use this company called discountmugs.com. Super cheap. Put in the logo, make these little white bags. In it, we got a water bottle. We've got, I guess I'm just showing you everything while we're at it. We got a koozie. I tease because the water bottle is to stay hydrated, but then a koozie is, because the process might make you drink. I don't know. And then, some pins and other fun little keychain, because, who doesn't need a cute keychain? But the number one thing that's in the bag is packing tape. And why do you think the packing tape is setting the expectation? You're really moving. Like, we're here meeting face to face. We're signing seller paperwork or buyer paperwork to work together, and it's time to start packing. And you pass this bag along after they have signed the agreements, right? You got it? All right, so that is setting expectations. Now, serving is just doing what you said you were going to do. There's nothing worse than being promised something. You've heard the phrase where you get overpromised and underdelivered. You see this in a lot of salespeople sometimes. Oh, I'm going to do this for you, this for you, this for you. And then they drop the ball. And it's so hard to get back into the good graces of a client when you have dropped the ball. So do what you say you will do, because people do business with people they trust. If they lose that trust, then you lose with them. And I don't want to lose with people. Now, how are you going to serve people? You're going to have standards. You're going to have rules. You're going to have accountability. You're going to leverage through technology, your CRM, your video, your social media. You're going to leverage yourself, and you're going to maybe leverage with some people. That could be your team. That could be vendor partners, service providers in town. But having standards is really the key. Now, listen, if you're a solo agent, I did this, so I'm calling myself out. I was a solo agent. I just had all my systems in my brain. I just had my standards in my brain. And what happens when you start growing a team, you realize, oh, crud, I don't have anything documented, because I just assume that everyone on my team, all agents, know that when a lead comes in, they should call them promptly, because that's what I did. But that may not be the case. So you may have to set standards and rules, even if it's just you, get them in writing and follow them, so that later they can be passed on to someone else if needed. Now, ways that we serve our clients. We do what we say we will do, period. That is it. If you can't do that, just don't say it. What I also want to remind everyone, and this was just a habit I created since I've been in the business for so long, I got through the days of 2008, 9, 10, 11, and here in Oklahoma, it took a while to get here. So we were still kind of coming out of that recession and the slow market, even into 2010 and 11. And I remember listings did not sell right away. And I had to have a weekly habit of touching base with my clients, even if there was nothing to report. You may find that with increasing days on market, you have to make a promise to them and to yourself, because what happens if you are ghosting them because you don't have anything positive to say, and last time you talked to them, you got them to do a price adjustment, but it didn't help because still there's been no showings, you still have to check in, because they will start creating very negative stories about you, and they will start telling their friends. When the listing agreement is up, they are going to tell all their friends or the next agent, why didn't your property sell? Well, I don't know. I never heard from my agent. That's what they're going to say. So don't be that agent. Stay in touch, even if it's painful. It's really tough. Rip off the Band-Aid, get it over with. Now, the other ways you can leverage yourself is maybe you have a system where we're going to send a weekly email with updates of the market and things that are going on. So they're at least getting some touch from you, but you cannot not call them. You cannot touch base with them. And we have to over communicate. This is what I tell my team. If I get a call in, if I get a text, if I get a client reaching out or coming into us, that means we failed. That means we didn't stay ahead of the here's what happens next. Another tip, as something that we do to serve our clients, is we promote our buyer listings. So just like, and it's even inside of the Millionaire Real Estate Agent book, Gary talks about, you list a buyer as well. Now that finally everyone has to have a buyer broker agreement signed, that is a listing agreement. So just like your seller listings where you put the house online and you promote the property, you can do the same, of course, following Fair Housing Act and all the rules. You can promote the buyer, meaning we have buyers, here's what they're looking for. Let us know if you know anybody looking to sell that we could match them up with it. We call it Matchmaker Monday, where we try and match up our buyers and our sellers on our team. All right, you got it. So now we got survey. So we've already set expectations. We've served them because we said we did what we said we would do. And now we're going to survey. So survey's in the middle of our 5S's because we haven't got to closing yet. And so sometimes people are like, that doesn't make sense. Well, we're surveying, meaning we're continuing to check in. This is what I was just talking about, was checking in frequently, even if nothing new to share. Ask for feedback. So remember, you do this every day. Your buyers or sellers do not. They do not do this every day. It is not normal for them to feel the kind of stress that they're feeling, or anxiety or uncertainty. So it may need to be, I'm going to survey, meaning I'm just checking in with you. Hey, it's Jenny, just thinking about you. You guys doing all right? You need anything? Yeah, I mean, you got to be a friend as well as the fiduciary, okay? Now, tracking the results. So this is so important because if you're checking in with them, you can hear what they're feeling and experiencing. So you might have dropped a ball, or maybe there was a gap of communication that you can learn from. Where can we get better at this so that they don't feel uncertain or insecure? And always just adjusting and improving. And so something we add to the end of our time with a client is a final review. The lead agent, the lead admin, they say, how did we do and what lessons did we learn? Let's learn from this and grow so that it doesn't happen again. All right, now here's ways that we survey our clients. So we utilize the promise. You've probably heard of the promise. Mike Hicks is the man who originated it so many years ago. Over time, many of us have adopted and adapted the promise. We share with our clients right from the beginning in our buyer and our seller presentation book that we have a mission. Here's the mission for our team. It's to deliver an amazing client experience and make sure that by the time we are done working together, that you'll feel so great about this experience that you'll think of someone who may need some real estate help. Now, we're going to ask at the end how we did. We're going to ask for your feedback and hope that you had such a great experience that if you didn't think of somebody that might need to buy or sell, maybe you'd at least offer us up a 5-star review online. And so we're setting the expectations that we're going to be asking for that. And so we're checking in each week. Remember, we're always just making sure they're okay, because once you get too far away from communication, they've already started creating these stories in their mind. And like I said, we have this referral and review system that gets double checked at the end. We know that if we delivered this great experience, they should have a positive story to tell us back that can get documented in the form of an online review. We then take those online reviews, and if you go to the Wolek group on Instagram or Facebook, you can see that every Tuesday we do a testimonial Tuesday. So you get to utilize that fun story that they share and share it with others, so you can get some more reviews and referrals. All right, surpass. We're gonna surpass any expectations that they had. This might be my favorite, and it's sometimes something that we're so in the grind of it that we forget. So remember, you are working with the client, you're in the process of buying or selling or both, and you want to keep surprising and delighting them. So something we do is we have a VIP form. We have them fill it out at the beginning. Our admin team stays on top of it. If they hadn't filled it out, they keep gently nudging it over to them to go ahead and complete. Well, what's on a VIP form? Basic info, of course, but then other fun things like their favorite local restaurants or flowers or sports teams, things like that. And then we even added in what's their favorite celebratory beverage. Not everybody drinks bubbles, or maybe they don't drink alcohol. And so that way you know what to share with them in a time of celebration. And then also we added another one in that says, if you had $100 to spend on yourself, what would you buy? And so now we're able, if needed, to be able to go and get them something to surprise and delight. Now, I want you to think about, this is where I always remind myself on great experience. We're kind of addicted to Disney World in our family. Our daughter is a senior in high school, and she had to make sure that we got in one more trip before she goes off to college. We tease that we're never going back again after she leaves, and she cries, but it's no big deal. But whether it's Disney World or Starbucks, the Ritz, Nordstrom, if you've experienced it, you know what that feels like, what it smells like, how you feel inside of that experience. How can we copy this? How can we use that so that our clients feel amazing too? So whenever I talk about surpassing expectations, something we do is just using the same little book, same little bag. We like this little bag. They're easy breezy. We take to inspection. So say that when the property goes under contract, whether it's a buyer or a seller, we take these bags with a 4-pack of sparkling wine, little pink bubbles, rosé. It's a celebratory time. It's time to start packing. This is so exciting. Congratulations, you're under contract. And then we, of course, still know like what keeping them updated on the next steps, the next steps, the next steps. Something we did, and it was amazing, but we've stopped doing it now, to be honest. But we had, remember during the pandemic, the letters that you would have in the front yard. You can buy them on Amazon, and it would say, welcome home. And so we would run over before closing, so with buyers. So the buyers we do the final walkthrough and go off to the closing. And in the meantime, we would set up welcome home signs in the front yard. So when those buyers came back after closing, probably exhausted and, just on fumes, they have a welcome home sign in their front yard. That was a really big hit if you want to look to kind of update some fun way to love your people. Now, lastly, sustain. And I'll go fast so we can have time. I want to hear your ahas and things that you do in order to deliver an amazing experience. But sustaining the relationship as we've gotten to the end. We've gotten to closing day or right around there. So how are you going to, beyond closing, sustain the relationship? See, here's the problem. We spend so much time with these people, and then we get to closing and we're just now going off and looking for the next deal, that we stop talking to them. So what we're doing is we're validating the consumer's stereotype of us, that we're about it for the money. So we have to sustain by staying in touch. We have to continue, whether it's day one after closing. Hey, just thinking about you. It's a quick text. It doesn't take much. I'm thinking about you. Do you need anything yet? When you do, here's a great vendor list. Call me if you need anything. It's taking pizza. It's doing the things that they don't expect you to do so that they know you got them and you're still there. This is not the end of our relationship. And we also want to make sure that we're creating loyalty and having raving fans. They need to continue to feel our love and our presence. And this is where having a great 36 plus touch program in place of inviting them to events, whether it's in person or online or giveaways, engaging with your people and staying in relationship is how you get to that MREA status. That's how you generate repeat and referral businesses, is doing these 5 S's that I've just shared. Now, here's just a really quick graphic that shares with you this approach. Now, remember, we set expectations, we served them, we surveyed, we surpassed, and then in the sustain section, we're really deepening and winning them over. They're loyal. It equals profit, and that equals growth, and that equals raving fans for life. That's my goal, at least. I don't know if it's yours. But here's some ways that we like to sustain our relationship: staying in touch, having a checklist, having accountability around it, having an awesome annual marketing touch plan where we are certain to stay in touch with them. VIP events and exclusive stuff, events and giveaways. Hugs is something fun I like to share. Now, a lot of times we had these face-to-face relationships with these people. Well, make sure that you now take it online because you've had the offline relationship. Now go online and make sure that you're connected with them on the socials. That way you get to see when even more life events are happening. And so we call it hugs on our team. We use a tool called Slack. And so the Slack channel is called Hugs. And so when we see online that a client has had, is having a baby or lost a dog or whatever the life event is, we snap a picture of it, we share it with our admin team, and they send off a card or flowers or whatever is appropriate. So have some systems in place so that you make sure to continually love on your people even after the closing. Real quick, I do have an upcoming class. I'll share it with the girls if they want to pass it along. I love systems. I love making and delivering an amazing client experience for our people, because repeat and referral business is the lifeblood of our business, and it should be of yours too. So I've got that coming up, and I just appreciate you guys so much. I want to hear some ahas, some takeaways, and then just maybe any questions you have to go a little deeper on stuff.
I have a
Go ahead.
question.
Yeah.
Okay. What would you say to an agent who has not stayed in touch with their past clients?
Yeah.
I had an agent ask me this question last week, and I did the best I could to answer it, but I'd love to hear from you, Jenny.
Yeah.
Of what would be a great touch? Would it be start a newsletter, or would it be a pop by in person? How do you get that ball rolling?
I mean, first off, that's a great question, and I get it all the time. It's like, I haven't stayed in touch. I failed. How do I get back in flow with people? And first off, I think it's just a quick phone call. Hey, Tammy, it's Jenny. I know I have not talked to you in so long, and I was just thinking about you, or I drove by your neighborhood, or I saw something on Facebook, made me think about you. How are you doing? And then really just working through the forward conversation. How's the family? How's work? What are you guys doing, on the weekends? The kids playing sports with recreation and dreams? Where are you guys going to go for spring break this year? I think it's just getting back in flow with them. And then you, I think, have permission to get back in sync and applying them to your touches and your follow-ups. I think birthday call is the easiest. Happy birthday. It is not a ask for business call. It is a what are you doing to celebrate for your birthday? That's awesome. I'm happy to chat with you. Hope you have an amazing day, period. Yeah, you just have to get back in flow. Does that help? Yeah.
Yes, thank you. I think that's great advice. A phone call is a
Oh,
perfect first step.
yeah, I think it is. Guess what? It'll probably go to their voicemail, but that's just an excuse to leave a nice, caring, kind voicemail. And then it could always be a follow-up text. Hey, Tammy, it's Jenny. I was just thinking about you. I left you a voicemail. No need to call me back. I just wanted to say hi. And so they don't feel obligated or uncomfortable, which goes into Sarah's question, which I definitely get a lot, which is what if they don't ever respond to your touches? Oh my gosh, you guys, they still hear you. I have had so many examples of clients. I mean, it's embarrassing. I mean, I'm a high I behavior. I don't know if you guys know what that means, but it means that I used to get my feelings hurt when I would call, text, email, Facebook message, and crickets, nothing, no response until it's time for them to need some help. So don't give up, keep doing it, just mix it up, right? If you're calling and leaving a voicemail, then don't do that. Shoot a quick text, send a Facebook message, send an email. I was just thinking about you because I swear, and we tease, we call it a come list me. When they finally call you, I've had it up to 12 years ago. People, I'll go back through my notes and no response, no response, no response, no response. Someone without grit would have definitely given up or deleted them. Now listen, this is if they were a kind person. If they're a jerk, just delete them because you don't want to work with them anyway. Okay. But if they were a good, kind client, then yeah, just stay, even if it's just once a quarter, I'm touching base in some fashion, or I'm thinking about you, putting them on a market update. Hey, happy home anniversary. They're hearing you and it does come back around. Yeah. Anything
Jenny,
else?
is there just because I think about this in terms of systems, a formula or system around like how many times you don't talk about business before you talk, like value, then business, or is it more like organic?
I think what happens, Katie, is your touch bases are personal and they know who you are and what you do. And then because they trust you and they are a part of your touch plan that includes invitations to pie parties or to, sign up for a giveaway. And that is when it's absolutely about business, because in order to enter any of our giveaways, we ask them if they know anybody who wants to buy, sell, or invest in real estate. If they come to an event with us, they're going to enter a little raffle with that same question on there. So it's going to be in their face. And the ask is always going to be there. It's just a subtle ask, if that makes sense.
Totally. Yeah. If you're keeping up with the relationship, then you've got that to be able to have the ask.
That's right. That's right. Anything else? Packing tape. Yeah. The truth on the packing tape is a long time ago, we paid for a marketing company to put our logo on packing tape, which was cool, but does it really matter at the end of the day? So really, like when it comes to any of your swag, make sure it's affordable, make sure you're following your budget and not breaking the bank on stuff just to be cool. And so we realized, who cares what kind of packing tape it is? It's the idea, because that's what it is. It's the idea of affirming that they're going to be packing, they're going to be moving. It's just like in the old days when everybody used to have real earnest money checks. Whenever when I was talking with buyers and we were getting ready to go shopping for their home, I would say, don't forget your checkbook, because the checkbook was the reminder, I might be buying a house today. This is real, right?
We have a couple last minute questions. The number one, they said, who do you use for your branded items? So you're speaking of swag. And the
Mhm.
other one is, do you have a number that you shoot for to spend for spoiling your clients?
Oh, I love that. Well, this is where it kind of gets, first I'll talk about the spoiling clients. So, first we are very systemized in the closing gift. Nowadays they get a bottle of bubbles, which is like, you know, the Chandon, a $40-$50 bottle at the most. It's a nicer bottle of bubbles, but we're going to always reference first their VIP form if they don't drink. Like, for example, my sister bought a house with us and she drinks Dr. Pepper. So yes, they got a 2-liter of Dr. Pepper. And then also we have a local candle place. And so we just got with the local candle company and they have these wood candles that can get refilled. And so on the bottom of the candle, we say, you know, to whatever, to continue to stay in your home or whatever, you know, please go to Magnolia Soap and you can get your candle refilled for a discount. That's usually our standard. But then whenever clients are either at maybe a higher price point or a repeat client, then we fold in some extra things. Like, for example, we have a Tulsa swag box that gets shared with people who buy, who refer clients to us. So this could be local people. If they share a referral with us, when it closes, we have a little box that we put in like a coffee mug and, you know, more swag and more love. And then for like, I have a client that's closing with me on their 3rd investment property this Friday. They've already gotten the first 2 gifts. And so now I know she's told me at the first closing that she loves bubbles. So we're getting her some Vouv. So like high end, we're going to always just measure it based on, it's going to then become more individual. So I think that you get to make that business decision. I can't really tell you what that looks like for you. And then what was the other questions? When it comes to like all of these swag gifts, like this one was discount mugs, just because my sister had used them and so I did. When it comes to other swag, it's just going to be maybe we have a local guy that makes us koozies. So I think you can do some online shopping. There's not like one end all be all when it comes to stuff like that.
Okay, last question. Do you use a program for your email videos?
Okay, good question. So early days, I use viral marketing and I used that. This is a company that was really great at the time. I didn't have the skills or admin to edit video or send it out. And so I utilized a company. It was about $500 a month back then. I don't know what it is today. That's one example. But then over time, now all of my recordings I just do through Zoom. And I share it with our virtual assistant that's in the Philippines. She's a cyberbacker. And so she then can edit and send out. We use Brivity as our CRM. It can send out at times, but also MailChimp is another tool that we use. But if I were starting from scratch and needing on a budget, I absolutely used BombBomb at like the lowest level because it was affordable and I was really just sending these one-off videos to upcoming sellers or upcoming buyers that were just giving a pre-listing video. Yeah.
I
Lots
love
of-
that. Awesome. Jenny, thank you. I know
Yeah.
it's top of the hour. You got to go. You are.
Oh yeah, I do. Bye.
Bye, Jenny. Thank you for all of your time. And for everybody else, if you're going to family reunion, Jenny is doing 2 breakout sessions.
Yes.
So you can catch her there. If you're not at family reunion, Jenny does a free webinar every month at yourjourneywithjennie.com. We'll send out the details on that. So thank you everybody for coming and we hope you have a good Wednesday.
Thank
Bye,
you guys.
everyone.
See
Bye,
you.
guys.
Bye.